What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about the DXY. Happy Halloween. This one comes to us at the request for Mr. I-Cigar. I-Cigar, we're talking about this one for you, my man. Looking at it here on the monthly, I definitely think it's in a bullish posturing, man. We're bouncing off of this area here. Take a horizontal line, double bottom. Bounced off it before, bounced off this area before, disrespected it a little, but respected it there, you know, respected it here. Like, it's definitely an area that we respect more or less, and we also found a double bottom. Now we are in the bullish area of control, being above the 60 like this right now on the monthly basis. The RSI looks strong, the readings look strong overall. I think that you do go higher, right? You had your little check back, little consolidation phase, and now you're going higher. Where are you going to go? Well, from top to bottom, probably moving up to like the 119, 125 area, something like that. And that can take years. You know, you might be on your way up overall, but like here, right? You were on your way. Let me just see if I can make sense out of this. From top to bottom, you were on your way up to this 1618. Okay. Right up here, you went all the way up to the 1618 and came back and actually closing support at the 886. This would imply also just on this fib reading that you would see deeper extensions with the way that it looks. But on your way up there, you know, you moved up and you came back down and consolidated, and then you moved up more. You know, I don't think it's going to be a straight shot up. I definitely don't. Maybe we move up and we meet this top here. It looks like a double top. It kind of consolidates, but then it just gets ready to go up. You know, we kind of had a similar situation over here. I'm going to take this off now. Where you had a top here, you had a near top over here. It kind of looked like a double top to some degree. Some people even might have called it that, but really you're just in this overall consolidation phase before having your expansion up. If we look at this, right, each time that we've seen this kind of move where you just go up, then you consolidate, right? You move up, then you consolidate, right, for a long time. You moved up, you're probably going to consolidate for a long time. I do think that right now, in the midst of things, we are going to be going higher, sure, but I don't know if we're going to see these extensions for the dollar immediately. It's probably going to be years, right? Like this took, I don't know, from whenever we started the consolidation to when we broke out of it. It was March of 2015. We arguably broke out of it in April of 2022. So that was like 7 years later, right? Here we moved up. It was September of 2022. We could be breaking out of it in 2029, right? That doesn't mean we can't go up in the meantime, right? But we might be in a consolidation phase. And you can just kind of look at this chart and see big move up, consolidation phase, big move up, consolidation phase, big move up. I think we're in the beginning of this consolidation phase. So a lot of people, you know, raise your hand if you've heard on the media, through the media, that the dollar, the US dollar is going to zero, that it's worth nothing, that it's losing value against other world currencies. If you've heard that, if you believe that, I would like to correct you in your beliefs and just show you this chart. This is the DXY. It's basically like the index. It is the index for the dollar specifically versus all world currencies, recognized forex currencies, or fiat currencies. I'm sorry. And all we've done since 2008 is been in an uptrend. It crawls its way up there, you know, it consolidates and then expands, consolidates and then expands, but higher highs, higher lows. This has been in a like 15-year uptrend essentially, right? So definitely not bearish on the dollar at all. Though I'm not, just because I'm bullish doesn't mean that I think it's going to go like this, right? I don't think anything like that. I think that we're probably going to again be range bound more or less for probably like 6 years or so, for a while. So that's good for this coming crypto cycle. You know, thinking about it, really thinking about it, right? The last crypto cycle we had for Bitcoin was the shortest, the smallest expansion that we've seen for crypto, right? Like it was tame. It was a lot more tame. Well, you know, the cycle before that, whenever it was 2017, right? We had a very, very bullish move that took us from, I don't even remember it. It was a huge parabolic move with a blow off top and everything, thousands of percents in increases, right? And we were in this consolidation phase, right? Where this last cycle we were actually in an expansion phase with the dollar, right? It started expanding in, I mean, really we found its low in January of 2021, where Bitcoin didn't top off until November of 2021. I think that stifled the bull market. We're not going to get that this time. I don't think we're going to get that. You know, that's my genuine opinion. I think that the dollar right now is probably going to be in like a half a decade long consolidation phase. I want to see, actually, let's go from the top. Let's go from the top to where we're kind of breaking out. I would say arguably we're breaking out here. It's like 66 bars. I don't know, maybe not the top itself. Maybe just like the initial move. Let's do the initial move. So this is the initial move here to when we're breaking out. I would say that that's like we're breaking out right there. 70 bars, initial move top right here. We're breaking out like here, 85 bars. So this could take a while, guys. This really could take a while. Let's say it takes 50 bars, okay, before we break out of this range. That's a lot shorter than either of these. That would still be in 2026. Okay, so that's by the way, the end of 2026, let alone. And if it went to 70 bars or 60 bars even, that's 2027, end of 2027. Like, it's going to be some time before the dollar expands up like it did here, like it did here, like it did here. It's going to be a while before that happens again, right? So I do think this bull market's going to be phenomenal. But overall, looking at the dollar, strong readings on the monthly. Which makes sense because we're in an uptrend, right? On the weekly, we are overbought right now. We kind of do have some bearish divergence presenting itself, but that can be overthrown. You know, we have a high here, a lower high here. You've got highs on higher highs. That is bearish divergence that could mark a top, and it wouldn't be too crazy after a big move like this to have a retracement. Let's just see. From bottom to top here, you're bouncing off your 236, rejecting your 069. With this kind of look, I would expect that you go to your 382. I really would. And that would make sense for a few different reasons, but you know, it would also make sense that we might have found a low and that we are getting ready to go up now. Maybe we are. You know, maybe we are getting ready to go up because if you put a line right here at these lows, you found resistance here before. You found support here before, a little bit of resistance even before. If you go back, I guess it's not, you found support here, I suppose. Resistance here, support here. Yeah, it's an area that's more or less relevant. So it wouldn't be too crazy if we found support here and continue to expand higher. But overall, we wouldn't like go to new highs from here, right? We'd go to new highs, like relatively speaking. So maybe we move up to like 107 to 109, somewhere in that range. Sitting at 106.77 or 0.707 now. That would make sense. You know, let's see. We're on the weekly here. So we're in the overbought zone right now. Or I guess technically we're in the overbought zone, but we just got into it over here. The last time that we like just got into the overbought zone, we were crawling our way up and we just got into it over here. By the way, bouncing off your oversold zone like this is just beautiful. And you actually got into your overbought zone, definitely bullish. But you got into it here. When you started consolidating, you didn't break out for 15 bars. Okay, 15 bars. And then, you know, here we got into the overbought zone here. When you started consolidating, if we were to kind of take that as to like a similar idea, maybe we more or less move sideways with the dollar for the next 10 weeks or so, because I think we're, what, 5 weeks in? Yeah, 5 weeks in now. So if we were to go 15 weeks or around there, maybe the next 10 weeks, about 2 months, 2.5 months, something like that, we move sideways. That would put us in the beginning of January. That makes sense, right? While the dollar's been consolidating like this over the past few weeks, crypto's been doing bullish things. And it would kind of make sense if crypto and maybe the markets across the world had a bullish finish to this year, because everyone's so bearish, man. Everyone's so pessimistic. It would make sense that the opposite of what people are thinking happens. We consolidate through the rest of this year. We have a move up in crypto and across the markets all over the place. And then before the halving, which the halving for Bitcoin's in April, right? So before the halving, maybe crypto and the rest of the markets kind of consolidate and check themselves too, and that's when the dollar goes on its next run up. That would kind of make sense to me. That sounds about right. So maybe we consolidate for the rest of the year, some more or less, and then sometime in January we expand up a little bit more. But again, that expansion I don't believe is going to take us to new highs. I think we're going to be range bound for years. For years, probably. I mean, who knows? Nobody knows the future. Anything can happen. But I don't think we're going to see a move like this for quite some time, right? It took us quite some time to formulate a move like this, right? The time before that, it took us quite some time to formulate a move like that. So doesn't mean that it didn't go up or down in the meantime, you know, but not like this rapid expansion that takes you to new like multi-year highs. So again, in January, maybe we move out of this consolidation phase and go up. It really, you know, I'm scratching my head with this because it really wouldn't be too crazy to go down to your 382. But you are holding your 236. The 0.069 is not a fib level. It's just a level I've identified as significant. And you can see why. Like it's relatively being held down by that. It is a significant level at times. But it's also a number of like continuity, right? 6-9. I know a lot of people use the sexual innuendos with it, but it's actually like a more spiritual number than just that. It's like a number of balance. But you really could find support here just beyond the fibs. It's an area you found resistance, support, and then going back in time, you know, we already proved that. It would make sense if we just moved sideways, more or less, until January, and then maybe move up a little bit more. On the daily here, bullish looking RSI, man, you are no problems staying overbought. You got oversold here, but very briefly compared to this. You like to be above the 50. I don't know, man. I'm starting to think you probably don't go down. You probably are. Again, you probably just move sideways more or less. If you go down from here, it won't be by much. If you go up from here, it won't be by much. You're probably just going to move sideways up until January. And then in January, you'll probably have a nice little expansion upwards. So that's all I got for it, man. I don't think I have to. I want to say anything else on the dollar. I've already thrown out enough like very specific predictions, which isn't like me, but I feel like the dollar is a little bit easier to gauge sometimes, and I'm saying that, and I was bearish. You know, I thought that at the 382 we were going to find resistance here. I remember saying it, right? If we look at the daily, it was like this day here that I was bearish, and we did go down a little bit, but we continued to go higher. Smooth operator, if you're watching, I'm pretty sure you called this thing going up higher, and it did. It continued to crawl up higher. But now we're taking a break at the 0.5. With this overall look, I would expect that we do move up to the 618, which, surprise, surprise, if we take this extension here, yeah, deep extensions up there. There's fib levels that line up with that, and this is such a small fib that we really could see deeper extensions at the 2272 even. So a lot of stuff making sense for us to go higher, all in all. So I think that's all I got to say, man. Probably sideways on the dollar until January, and then we move up a little bit, but it's not going to be a rapid expansion like we've seen previously, right? Like at the end of the cycle, the last crypto cycle. I don't think we're going to see that for years. So I think this cycle is going to be phenomenal, guys. I don't think we're going to be stifled like we were last time. So if you like the video, leave a thumbs up. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. I'm glad that I talked about this, because figuring that out, man, going over this kind of like, not generational, but cyclical like expansions of the dollar, this gets me excited. This gets me really excited, not just for this cycle, but for the next cycle as well for crypto. Yeah, that's all I got to say. Take care, everybody. Have a good day. I really don't think that we're going to go lower than this, because we found support on previous areas of a high. Just as down here we were finding support on previous areas of a high. I think we just checked back. We're probably going to move higher. If we do move higher than this high, ooh, man, I take it back. We might move higher than this high, but it won't be by much, right? Like we did over here, right? We're not. I stand by that we're not going to get a move like this for quite some time, but we could stand to go a little higher than this high. We could. We absolutely could. So, anyways, sorry I threw that in at the end there, but for those of you who are loyal and watching it through the end, you got that little tidbit right there. All right, I'm gonna go. Bye bye.